Okay, Michael. I need to talk about something that has been eating at me, and I am going to be honest. I am not in a great headspace right now.
I am listening.
So 3 months ago, I got laid off, and I know layoffs happen. I know it is not personal, but it was my dream job. I had been there 4 years. I relocated for that job. I turned down other offers for that job, and then one Tuesday morning, my manager calls me into a room and tells me my position has been eliminated. Just like that, 4 years, gone in a 15-minute meeting.
That is a lot to carry.
And here is the thing that is really messing with me. Everyone keeps telling me it will work out, that everything happens for a reason, that this is a blessing in disguise. And I want to scream at them because right now it does not feel like a blessing. It feels like a betrayal. I gave that company everything and they threw me away. I cannot accept that this is my life now. I just cannot.
Can I tell you something that might sound strange?
Please.
The people telling you everything happens for a reason, they are trying to help, but they are getting it wrong, because the Stoics did not say everything happens for a reason. They said something much more radical. They said you should love everything that happens, not tolerate it, not accept it, love it.
Wait, love getting laid off? Love losing my career? That sounds insane.
It does sound insane, and that is exactly why it is so powerful. The Stoics had a phrase for this, Amor Fati. It is Latin. Amor means love. Fati means fate, or destiny. Love of fate, and it does not mean what most people think it means.
Okay. So what does it actually mean? Because if you are about to tell me to just be positive about getting fired, I'm going to push back hard.
Good. Push back, because Amor Fati is the opposite of toxic positivity. Let me tell you where it comes from. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, wrote something in his private journal that I think about almost every day. In Meditations Book 5, Chapter 8, he wrote this: "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it."
A blazing fire.
Think about that image. You throw garbage into a fire. You throw wet wood into a fire. You throw obstacles into a fire. What does the fire do? It does not complain. It does not say, "I wish you had given me better fuel." It takes whatever you throw at it and turns it into more flame, more heat, more light. Marcus Aurelius was saying, that is what a strong character does with fate. It takes whatever life throws at it, the losses, the betrayals, the unfair things, and it uses them as fuel.
Oh, so he is not saying the bad stuff is secretly good. He is saying you can make it good by how you respond to it.
Exactly. And here is the context that makes this even more powerful. When Marcus Aurelius wrote that, he was dealing with things that make a layoff look like a minor inconvenience. He was fighting a brutal war on the northern frontier. The Antonine Plague was killing millions of people across his empire. His most trusted general, Avidius Cassius, had just tried to overthrow him, and his own body was failing. Chronic stomach pain, chest pain, probably stomach ulcers or cancer. He was riding by candlelight in a military tent, exhausted, sick, betrayed. And he wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it."
Oh my God. He wrote that while all of that was happening to him.
While all of that was happening, and he was not writing it for an audience, Meditations was never meant to be published. It was his private journal. He was coaching himself, reminding himself, be the fire, not the fuel.
Be the fire, not the fuel. Okay, that is incredible. But I want to understand something. You said, Amor Fati is Latin. Did Marcus Aurelius actually use that phrase?
Great question. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Greek, not Latin, and he did not use the exact phrase, Amor Fati, but the idea is all over his journal in Meditations Book 4, Chapter 3. He writes about accepting what is allotted to you. In Book 7, Chapter 9, he says accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together. The concept is pure Stoic. The Latin phrase, Amor Fati, was actually coined much later by Friedrich Nietzsche in the 1800s.
Wait, Nietzsche? The philosopher with the mustache?
The very one. And Nietzsche took the Stoic idea and pushed it even further in his book, The Gay Science, section 276. He wrote, I want to learn more and more to see as beautiful what is necessary in things. Then I shall be one of those who makes things beautiful. Amor Fati. Let that be my love henceforth. He was not just saying, accept your fate. He was saying, I want this, I choose this, not because it is easy, because it is mine.
I want this, I choose this. That is so different from everything happens for a reason that is not passive at all, that is almost aggressive.
It is aggressive, and that is the key difference. Everything happens for a reason is passive. It says, sit back, the universe has a plan. Amor Fati is active, it says, I do not know if the universe has a plan, but I am going to take whatever happens and use it. I am going to make it mine. I am going to turn it into fuel.
Okay. So let me test this against my situation. I got laid off. Amor Fati does not mean the layoff was secretly a good thing.
Correct. The layoff might have been unfair. It might have been poorly handled. It might have been a genuine loss. Amor Fati does not erase any of that.
But Amor Fati says, now what? What am I going to do with this?
Now you are hearing it. Amor Fati says the obstacle is the raw material. The layoff is not something that happened to you. It is something you can build with. Epictetus, who was born a slave, put it this way in Discourses Book 2, Chapter 5. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. He did not choose slavery, but he chose what to do with it, and what he did with it was become one of the greatest philosophers in human history.
A slave who became a philosopher because he treated his suffering as raw material.
Exactly. And Seneca adds another layer. In Letters 96, he writes, it is not that we must bear what is necessary, we must love it. Seneca was exiled to Corsica for 8 years, ripped away from Rome, from his career, from everything he knew, and during that exile, he wrote some of the most important philosophical works in Western history. He did not just survive the exile, he used it.
Okay. So all three of the big Stoics practice this. Marcus with his wars and plague, Epictetus with slavery, Seneca with exile. They all took the worst thing that happened to them and turned it into their best work.
And that pattern is not a coincidence, it is the pattern. The people who practice Amor Fati do not have easier lives. They have the same suffering as everyone else. They just have a different relationship with it.
But I want to push back on something, because I have seen people use this kind of thinking to gaslight themselves like, oh, my relationship was abusive, but I should love my fate. That feels dangerous.
That is such an important distinction, and I am glad you raised it. Amor Fati is not about staying in bad situations. It is not about tolerating abuse. It is not about pretending pain does not hurt. Toxic positivity says, pretend it does not hurt. Amor Fati says it hurts. And I am going to use this pain to become stronger, wiser, more compassionate. You can love your fate and still leave a toxic job. You can love your fate and still set boundaries. Loving your fate means loving the full story of your life, including the chapters where you had the courage to walk away.
Loving the full story, including the hard chapters. Okay. That reframe just changed something for me, because I have been trying to delete the layoff chapter from my story like, I want to pretend it did not happen, but you are saying it is part of the story.
It is part of your story, and here is what I have noticed about people who practice Amor Fati 5 years from now. When someone asks you about your career, the layoff will not be the tragedy, it will be the turning point. The moment you stopped doing what was expected and started doing what was right for you, but only if you choose to use it that way.
Only if I choose, that is the active part.
That is the active part, and this connects to something bigger happening right now. We are living in a time of massive disruption. AI is reshaping entire industries. The job market is shifting under people's feet. Relationships are more fragile. The news cycle is relentless, and the natural response is to resist, to fight against what is happening, to wish things were different.
Which is exhausting. I have been doing that for 3 months, and I am burned out from it.
Of course you are, because resisting reality is the most exhausting thing a human being can do. Amor Fati is not about giving up, it is about redirecting all that energy you are spending on resistance and putting it into creation, instead of asking why did this happen to me. You ask what did this make possible, instead of wishing for a different past, you build a different future.
What did this make possible? You know what? I have actually been thinking about starting my own consulting practice, something I never would have considered if I still had that comfortable salary. So the layoff did make something possible. I just have been too angry to see it.
And there it is. That is Amor Fati in action. You are not pretending the layoff was good. You are choosing to use it.
Okay, give me something practical. Something I can start doing today to actually practice this.
I call it the Fate Reframe, and it is a daily practice you can do in 5 minutes, either in the morning or at the end of your day. Here is how it works.
I am ready.
Step 1. Write down one thing that happened recently that you wish had not happened. The layoff, a fight with a friend, a missed opportunity, whatever is weighing on you. Step 2. Write down one way this event has already changed you, not how you wish it had changed you, how it actually has. Maybe it made you more empathetic. Maybe it forced you to develop a new skill. Maybe it showed you who your real friends are.
Okay, and step 3?
Step 3. Write down one action you can take today that uses this event as fuel. Not an action that undoes the event, an action that builds on it, for you. That might be sending one email to a potential consulting client for someone else. It might be having an honest conversation. They have been avoiding the action does not have to be big. It just has to move forward, not backward.
So I am not journaling about my feelings. I am journaling about my fuel.
Journaling about your fuel. That is a beautiful way to put it, and here is the thing. After a week of doing this, you will start to notice a shift. The events that used to feel like punishments start to feel like raw material, not because the pain goes away, but because you are building something with it.
Hey, quick pause before we wrap up. If this conversation is hitting home for you, take a second to hit the like button. It really helps more people find Stoic wisdom. And if you have not subscribed yet, now is a great time. We genuinely read every single comment. So let us know what you are thinking. Okay, back to it. Okay, this one really got to me. Let me try to pull together what we covered.
Go ahead.
Number 1. Amor Fati is not about liking what happens to you. It is about using what happens to you. It is the practice of taking whatever life throws at you, the losses, the betrayals, the unfair things, and turning them into fuel for who you are becoming. Number 2. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." He wrote that while fighting wars, surviving plague, and dealing with betrayal, the fire does not complain about what you throw into it. It just burns brighter. Number 3. Amor Fati is not toxic positivity. Toxic positivity says pretend it does not hurt. Amor Fati says it hurts. And I am going to build something with this pain. You can love your fate and still leave bad situations. You can love your fate and still grieve. Number 4. Nietzsche said, "Amor Fati, let that be my love henceforth." He was not saying accept your fate passively. He was saying, choose it, want it, make it yours. That is the difference between resignation and transformation. And number 5. The Fate Reframe Practice. Write down what happened. Write down how it changed you. Write down one action that uses it as fuel. Do this daily for 1 week and watch the shift from victim to builder.
That was beautifully said, and I want to leave you with one more image from Marcus Aurelius. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances. Action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your layoff is not standing in the way of your life. It is the way. Use it.
What stands in the way becomes the way. I think I am going to send that email to a consulting client tonight.
Be the fire, Ruth.
If this episode changed how you think about the hard things in your life, Follow Daily Stoic Mentality wherever you are listening. We will see you in the next one.